Hey, so the focus on this video will be about how to create this kind of shader. So you want to create this kind of plastic resin, gray resin shader in order to present probably your statue, your work to your client, or in order to present it to social media and to every other viewer, because you want to have some more people following your work in order to get maybe more contracts. And if we want to create this kind of shader, so this will be pretty easy to do inside of Maya and using Arnold. So I will show you how to do that. You really want to do that because it is something that is matching to what we can find in the printing world. So if we think about the company like OwnAge, when they are showing a model that they do, they are showing it with this shader, with this material. Something that we could do as well will be to play a little bit maybe later with the ambient occlusion to get another color or to get this kind of red effect. But I guess it's coming from a shader. From what I see here, I'm not sure that the background is real. It looks to me like it is a render that was done, but the material looks so good. Anyway, we will have a look at how to do this kind of shader inside of Maya, and then you will be able maybe to customize it the way you want. So let's have a look at what I have in my Maya scene. So this is a pretty simple scene. I just have a cyclo, so background, with 3 different lights that will be focusing on the target, that will be focusing on my model, on my statue. And then I have a background light that is focusing on probably lightening up what is happening on the cyclo. So let's have a look at what I have in the model, show, selection, highlight, this one. So this model has been exported directly from ZBrush without having to focus on any displacement material, any displacement maps, because I just wanted to have a decimation and to have all the polygon inside of my Maya scene, which may be not optimal for what you want to do. If you have like tons and tons of accessories and tons of polygons, several millions of polygons, you may not be able to decimate everything and to bring everything into Maya, because Maya is really picky with the number of polygons. But if you don't have like a huge amount of polygon, here I am at 4,700,000, which is still workable. And you can see that I can move quickly in my viewport. So having all the polygon in Maya will always be easier for you rather than using some displacement map. But anyway, this is the decimation of my model. I have all the information that are here. Every part has been decimated. So I will be able to work on a shader. So let's have a look at my different camera. So different camera, I have my render camera. So yellow-blue render, because this one was for a picture that I did for my portfolio. So I have several render for this one. I think that this was not the one that I use for this picture. So the model is a little bit different, the posing also. But it was for the render that I did for my demo reel, in order to present a turntable. So I will show you also how to set up your camera when you will want to create the turntable for your creature. So this was for this particular render. This one. So let's have a look how to create the material for our creature. So I will just start by going in panel, perspective, and select my correct camera. So the one that has been used for the render might be this one. So let's have a look at what I have in this one. Panels, look through selected, So I think that this one is for close-up, but anyway, it doesn't, it is not useful in this scene, so let's delete it. Select the front camera, panel, look through selected, and this one was the actual one. So I will start just simply by starting the render, just to see how things are looking in my scene. So I will go in the Arnold tab, click on the preview render button, and just bring my camera in this window here. Then I will just move to the beauty. If I am on any other AOV, so on any other path, I will just move on to the beauty just to see how things are looking in this scene. So I already have like a plastic material on this object, but I want to make it a little bit more waxy. So, you know, just like the one that I had on my Lynx Pardinus, so the one that I made for my CGMA tutorial. So I will show it back. Let's take this window here. So you see this kind of plastic, this kind of wax results. This is what I want to achieve within the shader. So the light traveling through the surface that will create the kind of red, the kind of red light going through the surface. For materials that will be more grayish, like this one, I want to have some kind of blue tint, blue and white tint hue going through the surface. So let's start by playing a bit with the shader. So for this, I will just select one object on this render, so maybe this one. Do a right click, go on Assign New Material, and here I will look for the Arnold shader, and within the Arnold shader I will use just the AI standard surface. So it will look white from the beginning because the way the material is set up is just having some white color. So I will just put the diffuse amount. So remember what we saw during the first video where I spoke to you about PBR theory, some introduction to look development. So the weight of the diffuse is the amount of this color that we will be able to see. So if we want to have the full color, the full diffuse color available, we need to put the weight at 1. If we just want to have a low amount of this color available, we just have to reduce the diffuse weight amount. So let's put it at 1 to have the full layer of color available, and then just select a color that we will want to play with. So I will select a gray color, so with a value at 0.5, and something that I can suggest you is always to have like just a little bit of saturation to give a small tint to your model. So I will select some kind of blue tint to start with. Then something that we can see from now is that the specularity is way too much glossy. So we don't want to have that. We want to have something that will be more dim, more rough. So we will play with the specular amount. So with the specular amount, we can just play with the specular weight to reduce it. But we will keep it at 1 to see the full impact of the specularity. And I will just put the roughness at 0.45, just to see how it's looking. We also have the IOR, so by default it's 1.52. We can keep it this way, or we can reduce it a bit to have something that will be closer to skin or to plastic. So skin will be between 1.3 to 1.4. Also, something that we want to do from now will be to play with the subsurface, and this is where the shader will be really able to take everything coming from the wax effect. So I will put the subsurface amount at 1. Not sure why it's looking like that. So sometimes I think that we get some dark effects, so the black color having an impact on all the object, and it is because in the render settings, so let's have a look at the render settings. In the Arnold tab, we do not have by default some SSS samples, so we want to add at least one sample to be able to generate the SSS. But because the SSS will generate a lot of noise, I suggest you, once you will go into the full render, the actual render of your creature, to raise up this sample number and to have something coming from begin 2 to even 5. It really depends. So we can see that we have way too much SSS in the material, and it is not because of the color. So if we want, we can still play with a color. So just pick the former one to get the same color as the diffuse. But it is because of the scale. So ideally, the model will need to be the same size at what we have in the real world. I will show you later in another video how to set the real world scale value in order to export some correct displacement and in order to set your shader in Maya. But for the moment, we can just lower or raise up the scale of the value of the scale. I think that the higher we will go in the scale value, the lower SSS we will get. So let's have a look at this part for the moment. I will raise up this number and it will start blocking the SSS effect. So you see, I told you that we have a lot of noise in the SSS, so we can raise up the sample number of SSS, or we can just raise up the scale in order to block a bit more the SSS. Or what is happening if we do the opposite? Yeah, it's working in the opposite direction. So the lower scale we'll get, the lower SSS we'll get in the surface. A value that is really important is the radius value. And this will give you what you want, I mean the wax effect, the color of the wax effect. So if we want to have something that will look red, we just have to pick a red color and then we'll get some red traveling through the surface. Let's raise up the intensity and the scale value to get something that will be more obvious. So we are starting to see a little bit of red. So something that we may want to do, if we want to have something that will look more like some clay from actual figure, we need to have a color with way less saturation and maybe something that will be more bluish. So we will just play with the radius color, get something that will be a little bit more blue like this, lower the saturation, and maybe reduce a bit the value. Then we have a parameter that is really important, and it's the diffuse type parameter. So this one is the way Arnold will play with the SSS. Something that I can recommend to you is to use the random walk. So the random walk is giving some amazing result. Also, something that we can do will be just to maybe add a little bit of anisotropy. So the more anisotropy we will add, the more wax effect we'll get into the shader. So now that the shader has been set up, we just need to play with the different value. So I think that I will just try to reduce a bit the subsurface color. And maybe I need to reduce also what is happening in the lighting, because I think that the lighting was working well for my former shader, but for this one it's a little bit too much. I will also reduce the quantity of specular, so I can reduce it by reducing the weight, or I can do it by reducing the color. So now I think that I have too much SSS, so the light is traveling way too much to the surface, into the surface, so I get this kind of crystal resin effect. So I just need to reduce the scale to get something that will look closer to my plastic resin material. Even less, I think. And reduce also the radius saturation, because I don't want to have something that will be too visible. Maybe give it a little more greenish color and reduce the value as well. So I'm starting to get something. Let's raise up a bit the specular amount. And I will reduce again the scale because I don't want to have too much impact of the SSS. So the scale will be something like this. Something that we can do as well that help nicely to show some of the details that you sculpted is to have like one first specular that will be really rough in order to display the main specularity of your object. And then you will be able to bring a second specularity in order to bring out all the details of your model with the coat layer. So the coat layer, we can call that specular 1 and specular 2. So something that I'm doing most of the time is to add the second layer of specularity with a really wet spec, something like this. And then we will just reduce the impact of the specular. So we do not need to play with the color for that. We just want to play with the weight to reduce the impact of this second specularity. And it is really helping to bring out some of the detail of our model. So now we just need to assign the same shader to all the objects in the scene. Maybe something that we want to do will be to play a little bit more with the subsurface. So I think that having a bit more saturation will nicely help us to get the results that we want. And maybe reducing even more the scale. Because we don't want too much light to travel through the surface in it. So this is what we get from the shader. So I will just select the whole model, right click, assign existing material, and I will assign my plastic wax shader. And I will be able to show the full result of this render. Maybe I will just do a render in just half of what I have in order to render it more quickly. And once I will be satisfied with what is happening in my scene, I will just need to raise up this sample for the actual render. So I will go into my render setting. I will go in this sampling here, and I can just maybe add some samples in the camera anti-aliasing sample. This will just multiply all the different samples that we already have in this scene, or I can just play with one value if I just want to raise up the value for the number of SSS sample. So having more value in the, having a better value in the SSS will help me to get rid of the noise in this scene. So I think it's still not enough, and maybe we have some noise coming from the beauty, coming from the diffuse or the specularity. So I will show you in another video how to reduce this, this noise better. But for the moment, I will just raise up the anti-aliasing, the camera anti-aliasing. anti-aliasing sample value, and this will multiply all the other samples. So you can see before we had a different number for everything: transmission, specular sample, diffuse sample. So raising the camera anti-aliasing sample does multiply all the different slots that we have in the shader. So I will keep this render for the moment, and I will see you in the next video.